Norris here, or you could call me GreyElephant.
And Carmen Norris.
And welcome. What episode are we on? I didn't even realize. Are we 6 or 7? I think we're 6.
6 is in my head, but I think that's because last week was 6. So I don't know.
I think it's 6. Alright, but regardless, last week's episode was our top 8 games of Gen Con because we like to be symmetrical. 8 is symmetrical.
8 is symmetrical.
Yes. And we said that this week would be our top 5 thematic games, and Carmen had to...
And I was like, 5's not symmetrical. Why did you do that?
So we had to change it to our top 8, so it'll be our top 8 thematic games. Now,
yes.
Before we get into this, we kind of had a scary moment this week.
Scary?
It was yesterday, in fact.
It was... GreyElephant Gaming was gone on YouTube. It was gone. Taken down completely.
In fact, the letter...
The letter said it was deleted, didn't they?
The email I got said they terminated our site. And I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Come to find out, haters gotta hate. We had somebody that flagged one of our videos saying that it was spam. It was a Kickstarter preview we had done for Ofer. One
video gets flagged as spam and they take the whole channel down.
Wow, I couldn't believe it, guys. So I had to get a hold of them, which took all morning. All morning. I'm just sweating bullets because everything I was reading said that if you're terminated, you lose all your content. All your videos, all your subscribers, everything. And I thought it was all gone. I thought it was all gone.
Yeah.
God, it broke my heart.
Feeling sick.
Just broke my heart. I mean, just all that work. I couldn't believe it. Over just one person just being mean. So anyways, they did reinstate it, and then they in fact, what killed me is they were like, yeah, we reviewed it, and we found that you're not in violation of our policy. However, we still give you a strike. So I still have a strike that I'm having to appeal, all because of this one person who just wanted to be mean. I mean, I just don't understand it.
YouTube. Seriously?
I mean, wow, you'd think that they would have just...
You took the whole channel down, then you're like, oh,
one video.
We decided that you weren't in violation, so it wasn't spam.
Broke my heart, man. I was so sick to my stomach. Just worked so hard and just have something silly like that happen. Gosh, okay.
So somebody made a mistake, apparently.
Yeah.
Or an automated system made a mistake, I don't know.
So, alright, so anyways, we're in our top 8 games of our thematic. Now, let's talk about thematic games here. Because everybody's view and opinion on theme, well, it varies. But let me give you my interpretation of how I feel about theme. Now, a lot of times people will look at Euro games. Most people don't feel like any Euro games really have theme. But yet, if they are placed in front of a game with dudes on the map and dice, for some reason theme comes out and all of a sudden it's like, yeah, this is a thematic game. It's about this and it's about that. And they can feel it more. And I think a lot of that is because they see, you know, we're all physical creatures and we see miniatures and they become more alive to us, as I think, is what it boils down to. But yeah, Euro games, they do deal with a lot more of cube pushing, agriculture, I guess, and maybe unfamiliar aspects of our lives. And there's where I think it ties in. How does theme apply to you?
Well, it's not like I'm familiar with, you know, going out in a battlefield and, you know what I mean?
But we've read the books, we've studied them in history classes, and we know we've seen movies and all that. And that's where I was going with this.
Oh, okay.
A lot of times, theme will be tied into our lives. How thematic is the game to you? Well, I don't know. Are you familiar with any aspect of this in your daily life?
Right.
Have you read the books? Have you seen the movies? Are there parts of this that you can just simply relate to on a basic scale? Yeah, and if it does, then it's more thematic to you than it would be to somebody else.
That might be why some of us might think Marvel Legendary right off the bat, whereas other people who don't
because you and I have fought crime in, you know, unitards. Shh. Oh my God, we're recording, I forgot. But yes, that's the thing. And people will say, well, it's thematic with that because, well, it's closely tied to the comic books. That doesn't make theme. It doesn't, okay?
Well,
so, for you, it does.
It depends on how well they do.
But let's be honest. Theme should be, in a sense, that it's telling a story. That it's drawing you in. You know? It doesn't... If a game will either be thematic or it won't be. Either it's going to be a dry cube pusher, or it's going to have substance
and
tell a story.
That you would assume has theme by just looking at it, and that would be the Marvel Heroescape that was like our first Heroescape set that we got. But really, it's not. I mean,
But Monster Apocalypse was.
Right.
Which was very thematic.
And I was going to say, in HeroScape, you're moving your character and rolling dice. I mean, it doesn't...
That's all it boils down to.
The theme doesn't jump out at you while you're playing the game.
So when we bring these... I'm sorry, go ahead.
But Monster Apocalypse, it does, because you're fighting army units and you're throwing the other monsters into buildings and destroying them, and to me...
And once again, you and I, at one time, were giant monsters.
Yes. Yeah.
In the ant world.
We won't talk about that. But I just feel like it's the mechanics and how the game works that really makes it thematic.
I agree with you 100%. So you even almost have a slightly even different interpretation of what even I do.
Yes.
Yeah. See, right there, we don't even 100% agree on this. So we created this list with a little bit of both. You know, this is our vision of how we feel about thematic games. But mind you, both of us have agreed upon this list as well. It's not like one of us said, throw this on there, and the other one said, oh, I don't know about that. But we will just read these off. This isn't in order in any sense, you know. So just realize it's not like our top 8, and starting with number 8, working down to number 1. So, all right, so let's work from the bottom up, though. I want to do that, though. So our first one that we have on our list are The Adventurers. The Adventurers is a blast of a game, a total hoot, and we have 2 different versions. You have the Temple of Chalk.
I believe so.
I don't want to say the other way of saying it that I'm thinking of.
Okay.
So, and then the Pyramid of Horus. These are a lot of fun. And the theme comes alive in the game because you feel like you're treasure hunters. And especially in the first one, it makes you think of what? A movie. Indiana Jones.
So
why is it thematic? Because of that.
It might be more thematic if you've watched Indiana Jones.
Ah! And then why is the second one? The Pyramid of Horus? Because of The Mummy. These are movies that we've seen, so we relate to them. We create the scenes in our head. We feel like we are Indiana Jones. Or who was the guy that played... Fraser was it that played the mummy guy? It was Brendan Fraser. Brendan Fraser. We feel like we're him, you know, and we're fighting off the mummy, you know. Horribly digitalized
I want to
mummy.
watch that now. I enjoyed it, even though it was horribly digitalized.
Oh man, the Scorpion King looked. What are you? Could make better Play-Doh claymation monster, you know. But this is why. So it becomes thematic and alive to us. But these games are also just a lot of fun and a flat-out hoot to play. We personally both like the Pyramid of Horus better. But a lot of people would disagree with us. They like the first one better because I think it is because the Indiana Jones was a more popular movie. But we do that one a little different though.
Yeah, as a side note, we actually play that one backwards because
I've often wanted to run a video on this.
It works better.
Yeah. To show how we do it.
We just feel like it works better for us if you start backwards.
Exactly. Yes. So speaking of dry Euro games, key pushers, I don't agree at all with this one. We absolutely love it. Village by Tasty Minstrel Games. We love this game.
It was one of the first games I thought of when our theme was going to be thematic games for this show. I thought of Village.
Yeah, and the reason is because I can recreate daily life. I mean, it does. It feels like, okay, what I like about the game is that whenever you're buying something, you're either going to pay with time or you're going to be paying with resources, and that does feel like life. Either you're going to put it on credit or you're going to spend the rest of your life paying off that credit, right? Or you're going to go into a trade and learn how to build this stuff.
You're going to die trying to pay off your credit.
All of us. But the point is that the whole game does feel like life in a village. You've got people that go into craftsmanship. You got people that go off and travel. You are buying and selling goods. You know, there's a lot in here that I feel like just applies.
Right. I don't know. For me, it's the putting them in the book at the end. Or, you know, at the end of their lives. Not at the end of the game, but when they die, you put them in the book, and then they're known for what they did during their life. And I don't know why that just...
I was the best wagon builder ever. Grandpa could build them wagons, but that's the cool part, is that you're going through generations, you know, and because you spent
Yellow
time.
number 3 was known as a traveler. You know?
I'm a traveler man, made a lot of stuff.
We always sing that when we're playing the game.
All over the world. Okay, next on our list, we just did a video on this, was Legendary Encounters. Okay. Once again, if you're familiar with the Alien movies, this game is going to be more thematic for you because it is very closely tied to the movies. However,
I've only seen like one and a half of the movies
Yeah.
while I was distracted years and years ago. But I chose this too. I think it's very thematic, and in fact, you know, I chose it over Marvel Legendary, even though I've seen like every Marvel movie there is. So yeah.
Exactly, and that's the thing about it, is that the game doesn't necessarily require that you're familiar with the movies, but at the same time, because I've watched them all. The first two I've watched a million times. The last two, not so much. But they weren't really good. But the fact is that as I'm playing this game, I can recreate those scenes in my head. And that's where it's kind of fun for me as well. But the fact is, you still feel moments of terror or suspense because the unknown.
I chose this game over Marvel Legendary because you're immersed in the theme when you're playing the game. You know, you have to scan the rooms. You've got unknown. What am I thinking? You've got tension and adrenaline. You know, you're fighting for your life here.
It's a lot of this is because of what's the unknown. What's going to happen next?
So,
what bad thing could possibly occur?
Once again, I think I picked this because of the mechanics, because of the way the game works, and not necessarily, you know, that you're familiar with the movie or book or whatever.
Legendary Encounters tells a story based upon the movies, but yet it still tells a story as you're playing the game.
As you're playing the
Village,
game.
in my opinion, tells the story of life in a village. The Adventurers tells the story of as you're traveling through the pyramids and you're gathering up the loot and blah, blah, blah.
And I'm an archaeologist.
Yeah.
And
so what is the story of our next one? The Terror of Meeple City.
Terror in Meeple City.
Let's be honest. This one's not necessarily telling a story as much as it just is thematic fun that you feel like you're taking on the role of a giant monster, crashing down buildings, gobbling up some people. You know, that's a lot of fun.
And it's the gameplay that makes it thematic.
Exactly.
You're throwing the other monsters and smashing stuff with them.
So once again, you're going back to your mechanics.
You're eating the people and putting them in your monster's belly.
In my belly!
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And the fact that you can like attack each other and knock out each other's teeth at the same, you know, and the less teeth you have, the less people you get to eat is really fun. And it brings even more of the theme, I guess, into the game because it's not just about you on the board doing your own thing.
And the fact that you're actually like throwing and flipping and you're not just rolling dice, I think makes a big difference too. The dexterity
feel of it.
Yes.
So this one's not necessarily telling us stories, but yet it does imply your mechanics and taking on the role.
But you're engrossed in the theme of the game.
Theme of the game.
When you're playing. Yes.
Now this one I feel like tells a story. Eldritch Horror.
Eldritch Horror.
Let's be honest. I mean, this one is about, okay, you don't just play Eldritch Horror. And let me explain this. You can simply go through, okay, I need to roll 2 eyeballs. You know, it's not eyeballs, it's investigation.
You can ignore the theme if you want to and just try to beat the game. But that would be miserable.
Right, and that's the thing. You read...
That would not be enjoyable.
Read all the text on the card as you're playing. That really draws you into the feel of the game. This is a game that tells a story. This is the story of how we died because we tried to... we tried to, you know, not let Cthulhu be raised. You know, it's our own bloody faults, right?
This game is about the experience. You don't want to play it just to win.
Oh, no. You want to play it to experience it and to create memories off of. Because when we came up with our thematic games, this is one of the first ones I thought of.
Yeah.
Which, you know... Obviously, and then the next one we're going to is the next one, which Robinson Crusoe is another highly thematic game. You feel like that you are on an island, things just keep getting worse, and, you know, at the same time you're having to come up with solutions. But it's the fact that you're so capable of doing so much, and you're trying to maximize all your actions, but you're never going to get everything done.
I think that one thing that a lot of these games have in common is that you're fighting to survive.
Yeah.
You're not going for points.
Yeah.
I think that really makes it
where
you're more engrossed into the theme.
That is a grand point. I mean, now Village you're going for points. Even with Rampage you're going for points, but yet still I understand.
But
points are almost like a moot issue because you're still playing as you're playing the game. The points just happen to occur. Versus that, you know, you're just only
the main
right, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that just... But yeah, this is once again one of the games where I feel like maybe with you, it's saying it's the mechanics because you're trying to work to survive.
Right.
But for me, I think it's because it does. It tells a story. It tells the story of your life on an island, how you're going to be able to defeat whatever scenario, and bad things are just going to consistently happen and try to keep you from obtaining victory. Either you all work together or you're going to die,
I feel like this Robinson Crusoe, the difference between this one and some other thematic games that tell a story is that it's not done for you so much. You have a lot of choices.
Yeah.
And, you know, each game can be different, and you just have so many choices.
Right.
That it's really not done for you at all.
But isn't that the joy of it, in a sense, is the fact that, you know, you're always taking the risk that you're doing the wrong thing,
right.
But at the same time, you're hoping for the best.
But,
but that's the story and that's the experiences that are created. And I think that's what makes a good, nice thematic game. So.
Right. But it's not taking you through the story so much as some of the other ones I've played. You know what I mean?
Once again...
Like automatic. You're not on automatic when you're playing it. Right.
So once again, of course... we have to go with another giant monster.
Rawr, rawr. We get into being monsters.
And we like King of New York an awful lot. Another game where you're a giant monster, you're smashing buildings, you're beating each other up, and you feel like you're taking on the role of this monster. But where I think this one fails in the theme is the fact that you can win with star points. It's not just the last monster standing, it's, you know, you can win like
It makes me think of Godzilla.
Because Godzilla's about fame!
No, because he beats the other monsters up.
Okay, well, but yet at the same time, this one you could win with fame, so... But yet you still like the mechanics of the fact you're slapping monsters around, you're destroying buildings, the military now attacks, and you can attack back, and in that sense, I guess.
You're doing all the things monsters do.
Be bad. And I can agree with that. And this is the story of how a monster went to New York and destroyed it. And beat up all the other monsters.
And became famous.
And became famous.
Like Godzilla.
It's just like, I keep calling all of them. Alright, so we wouldn't obviously be able to do a top, 8 thematic games without throwing a zombie game in there, right?
Zombicide was the one I thought of.
Yeah, Zombicide is one that really makes you feel like you're in the post-apocalyptic, world of where zombies are in control and you're just trying to work together to survive.
And once again, for me, this is about the game and how the game works. I'm not really into zombies. I haven't read zombie books. I don't watch The Walking Dead. I haven't watched very many zombie movies. But the game itself really makes you feel like you're running around with a chainsaw hacking up zombies, and they're coming at you, you know?
That might have... I mean, she walks around the house with a chainsaw, typically. So, I mean, this is not very... I mean, well, let's just be honest. She does. And so it's not a big surprise. So she probably relates to it closer because of that.
Right. And I wear roller skates when I'm doing that, too.
I like the outfit. But, yeah, the fact is that you feel like you're searching, trying to just survive, you're trying to work together. And once again, it's one that's creating a scenario. Defeat the scenario, you win. But at the same time, it's also one of those ones that turns on you like that. I mean, it's just, you think everything's going swell. Next thing you know, nothing's going right, and you got to try to fix things, or you die.
And I think that's the way the game ends is very thematic to
that
me.
you all die?
Either you escape, or you're overwhelmed with zombies and you get eaten. Exactly.
Either escape or you get eaten.
Well, it's not like, okay, well, the game's over and, oh, this time we got a few more points than we did last time we played, you know? So, right.
Yeah, I agree 100%. But what were the games that you guys listed off? So let's go through. We only had 3 people that listed games off, and I think it's because this is a bit of a broad, topic.
Kind of a difficult topic.
Yeah, everybody's got their own interpretation of what they feel like theme is in a game.
People were afraid to tell us because they didn't want us to make fun of them on camera.
And I would never do that, I swear. Ryan Wilshire said, Escape Curse of the Temple.
Yes.
That was actually on my list. I scratched it off because you mentioned it. And this is our way of talking about it. But yeah, that's a great fun thematic game where you're rolling the dice and you feel like the temple's, going to get you and you got to try to find the way out. Oh, so fun. So fun.
And you've got the tension, going on.
Well, and you got
the adrenaline rush.
You got the music and all that playing. I mean, it really just drives to the theme. So, all right.
Stormageddon from Doctor Who.
I'll let you read that one for a particular reason.
Okay. Says Euphoria, and says not a big, I think it's Ayn Rand fan, but I did like Anthem, and I always think of it when I play this game.
So I'm thinking that's an author of a certain book that ties into Euphoria. With the whole kind of like utopian kind of society.
Your point again.
Yeah. Once again, see, because you related it to a book.
Right.
You know, I guess like the shoot, what is that? The 1985, I think it is the book. Oh gosh, I'm having a moment. So, anyways, we'll just move on. How's that? So the discriminating gamer says for space opera and sci-fi theme, you can't beat Twilight Imperium. I think he can't go wrong with Twilight Imperium 3rd edition.
I thought it was you can't beat Twilight Imperium.
Maybe it was, but he just said can't be.
Yes, there was a typo.
For horror, I love Fury of Dracula, which I would love to play that. We like horror-style games. For fantasy, it's D&D Conquest of Narath, baby. For WW2, which would be not the World Wrestling Federation, but it would actually be World War II. War games, give me Tide of Iron. And for superhero games, it's got to be Marvel Legendary or Legendary Villains. Yeah, good list. In fact, that was a heck of a good list. I like all those. Yeah, I haven't played
that was a good list. I almost put Marvel Legendary on here, but Legendary Encounters beat it out.
Beat it out! Beat it out! Okay, so next week's topic is...
2-player games.
Yay!
And it's going to be the games we like playing with 2 players, not necessarily games that are designed for 2 players.
That's what's funky about us, guys. Not just the funky beats I lay down, okay? But the fact that we really play some games around here that we enjoy with just the 2 of us that aren't necessarily designed for 2 people.
Yeah, we like to make our own rules and have fun.
That's what it's about.
Exactly.
So, what are your guys' top 2-player games? Which ones do you like to play with just one other person, you know? Or maybe they're just specifically designed for 2-player. Maybe like the new Agricola with the 2 players. Stuff like that. Leave it below. We'll read them off. Your name and your comment. And, yeah. We'll see what you guys come up with. Be interesting. But, it's time for...
Random Ramblings.
All right. You want to go first or second?
I will go second.
So, okay. You ready?
Oh, wait. I will go first. I meant you pull it out first.
You want me to pull?
Yes, I want you to pull it out first.
Are you sure this time?
I am sure. I'm gonna.
All right, you ready?
I am ready.
All right. What game would you like to star in?
Would I like to star in?
Yeah, you'd be like,
Oh man. See, so, my first thought is, rah, rah, I like being monsters.
Okay, but let's expand on this a little bit.
Okay.
Now, what game would you like to star in? Does that mean that you get to take on any of the roles of the characters in it?
Yes, I would be a dinosaur. Okay, so the first game I thought of was Evo for some reason because I'm so big into studying
because I'm all about fighting and evolution and breeding. That's all I care about.
I like science.
Oh, basic.
Okay, but actually, if I really think about the games and what game I would want to be in, Takedo.
Oh, that's a darn good choice.
Be on vacation all the time and take baths with monkeys and go to restaurants. Awesome.
I would bathe with monkeys. That would be amazing. I just one time, and then they'll throw poo and ruin it. That's all. But yeah, Takedo's a great choice.
And then Steam Park would be cool.
Ride a robot theme park.
Yeah, be like living at an amusement park and riding the rides all the time. I might be hungry.
I would get sick.
Would I be a robot though if I was? I wouldn't need to.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, you'd probably be one of the patrons and riding the rides all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. Be like, where's the robot bathroom? Which still doesn't make sense. Yeah. Where's your bathroom? Your what room? Your bathroom. A bath what? Bathroom. What? All right. So it's my turn. Right. Was you all done? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay.
Takedo would be the best one.
Okay. So ready?
Ready. Oh. As a reviewer, what is your main goal?
Free games. It's all about free games. I just want a lot of free games. So keep watching. Keep telling your friends to subscribe because I want more free games.
Yes.
That's it. There's nothing more. All right. Oh, you got me. All right. So, truth of the matter, I just love sharing this passion and this hobby. I think it's a lot of fun. I love talking about games. Man, I wake up thinking about games. I go to bed thinking about games. I'm thinking about games like non-stop. And I love sharing this with you guys. I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is just one of those things where I kind of, and it was funny. I remember when we first kind of started doing this, I was like, I think I want to go buy a camera and let's just start. And Carmen's like, yeah! And we just did, you know? And that's what we started doing. And at first we were kind of like, hey, my name's Tim, and I want to talk to you about this game, and it's fun. What do we say? I don't know. And that's the funny part about it. You know, you don't always tend to be yourself early on. And I highly recommend anybody that is thinking about reviewing and the slide, just do it, man. Just do it. Go get yourself a camera. Set up a blog. Do something. Start writing, start filming. Do your thing, because it is really fun just to share your passion. You know, the more of us that are doing this, the better the quality is going to become as a whole. Now, that does sound kind of awkward, because you would think, you know, well, it's oversaturated then. No, not necessarily, because I think when we look at other people and see that they're being successful, why are they being successful? Because of quality a lot of times, or maybe charisma, or maybe something that's just drawing people in to want to watch them. And I think that the more of us that start doing this, the better all around the content will become, because we all are seeing that. We're all trying to upgrade. We're trying to present, you know, a better program maybe than the next, because...
Or maybe something that's a little different.
In a sense, it's kind of like we're all in competition, but we're really not. I mean, let's face it. I mean, you know, I got other video reviewers, Joel Eddy, Lance Meister, Scott Morris, you know, that are all doing great videos, and Ricky Royal, and they're the guys that I kind of looked to when we started up our program. You know, how do we want to do it? And then we kind of saw what they did, and then we kind of thought, well, we're going to try to make it a little bit different, you know, and take a different angle, you know, create live plays for educational purposes, you know, because being a reviewer is fine and dandy, but I'll be honest, the live plays are the most fun.
I gotta say, the live plays are my favorite, and I just love it when you guys comment on the videos. And we can talk about the game that we played, and I just think it's a lot of fun. It
is a lot of fun. It's one of those things where it's like we get to be more natural, I think, in a live play, and just enjoy the game, because the live plays are set up so you guys can see the game in action and make up your own minds. The quick review, it's there because people a lot of times want to know your opinion, you know? And really that's what publishers want too. They want to know your opinion, and they want you to share it.
And they want a shorter video. I mean,
yeah.
Face it.
That's why we try to keep them within 5-7. But anyways, that's why I do video reviews. I kind of got a little bit off track there. It's because I just love it. We like
to show off games.
God,
They're awesome. Look at this game. It's so cool.
Love games. Yes. Just love it. And so if you have a passion, desire, do it. I highly recommend. So, all right. So next week's topic is games that work well. Doesn't necessarily have to work well with two players, but games that you guys enjoy best with two-player. And that will wrap up this episode. Anything you want to add real quick before
that is it.
You gonna sign us off?
Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.
Griffin Gaming, from new releases to pre-orders. Griffin Gaming. Enter in promo code GreyElephant for 5% off your order.